The Maritime Academy of Nigeria has advanced its course in quality training of cadets in maritime education as it continues to build requisite infrastructure as well as develop its academic faculty with modern simulators and highly qualified teaching staff. In the spotlight on the latest development, Rector of the Academy, Commodore Duja Emmanuel Efedua retired, talks on what it means for the institution as the simulators are commissioned for operations. He also talks on the value of this in manpower development for industry needs.
Training is quite expensive, and not very many people want to risk their equipment for training. For example, let's divert a little bit or digress. Driving. Have you seen those vehicles used for driving? And that could put big letter L. Very, scruffy looking and everything, accidented, dented everywhere. It's because they know that learners will always, have some minor accidents. And for vessels, they're very huge investment. You can't risk that. So it's better for you to train on simulators where the cost of collision is zero. You don't have any material loss, you don't have any loss of lives, so it's better to train on the simulator if you have. And if you don't have a simulator, you've not experienced it, you go on board, they're very, wary. They wouldn't want to risk you. You have to be under apprenticeship for a very long time. You have to start learning all over. But with the simulators, you make your mistakes, you have zero damage, zero expenses, and you're already familiar, with the hands-on training. So when you go on board, bingo, you're on. Yes, when I was appointed in 2017, a lot of people in the industry, don't blame them, I'm not criticizing them, they had their own fears. They did not accept his choice. And they felt it brought somebody from out of the box. But they all forgot one thing, that I was a naval officer of over 32 years experience. I've served on board. I've lived most of my adult life on board. Whatever they have on merchant ships is what they have on warships. The only difference that we have guns, which they don't have, traditionally. But navigation remains navigation. The oceans have not changed. The rules of the roads have not changed. So they didn't put that into consideration. Don't blame them. The academy had collapsed. They complained. So they expected somebody they know and trust who will be able to deliver. I met with them. I discussed with them. And I said, listen, why not just give me a chance? Give me some time. They wanted to know, how long do you need? I said, give me 2 years. But from 6 months, I will be talking to you to come and see what we've done so far. Now, he wanted a world-class academy. I'm happy. And I give God the glory. And also thank you, my staff, for believing in me and having attitudinal change. We have given him more than we promised him. We now have a world-class academy. Yeah, you see, I'm very happy for them. They never had this opportunity. And that's why when they go out in the past, they used to say they're not properly trained. Don't blame those who employ them. Nobody wants to be shortchanged. They're paying for the service. Now, the cadets that we have now will be better trained than all the cadets that have passed through here because they have more facilities. It's not because they are more brilliant, but because they have been exposed to modern training. So, they always have their hands-on training before they leave the academy, get certificates for free. Like for solution awareness course, it costs about between $1,500 to $2,000 for 1 week in Asia and Europe. Now they'll get it for free as cadets here. But those coming from the industry, coming for such courses, they have to pay something, but something almost insignificant. Our job is just to train, pre-seed training. After that, the maritime administration or your employees will pick it up from there. Just like Nigerian universities, when you graduate, who does your job for you in the university? You go out and do your NYSC, from there you find your level. So our job is not to provide sea time for people, but we can give sea experience. Like with the simulators, now you have some sort of sea experience. During the series, we will also pay for you to go on board vessels, just to go and have a real life feeling out there, understand what effects the pitching and rolling has on individuals. Some of them may not be able to function if their bodies are not adapting as fast as they should. Some of them may go down and become seasick. They will be given the opportunity here, but for the sea time, the vessels, they have power ratings for them to qualify to be able to, for you to earn your sea time from there, at least 600 kVA and above. So Ship Owners Association, they have some of those ships like that. And this issue of the academy owning a vessel, people have been talking about it, but you see, buying a ship, the cost is so huge. Who's going to pay for it? Except the Ministry of Transport to buy the vessel, but they shouldn't hand it over to us, because where is the jetty the vessel will stay? The jetty we have there just for speedboats and some very small, maybe 10 meters to 10 meters vessels. If you put anything bigger than that, you pull the jetty away. Now, the sedimentation is so high. What is the commercial value of the Oron Channel? The Calabar Channel is the only route to the sea. Only the route to the sea. There are still some minor ones through the cruise. I'm talking about the ones that have been charted. It is okay, but very expensive to maintain. But MPA, because of the commercial value of the ports, they don't mind. But to branch into Oron Channel, nobody comes here, and the cost of fueling the vessel and maintaining it is so huge, it will even consume our budget. So it's better we outsource it. Let ship owners buy or have one that can sail international. Maybe from here to Senegal, from Senegal you do a transatlantic crossing to Brazil, maybe to Sao Paulo, spend maybe 2-3 weeks. It's a form of trading and exposure. From there they move straight to maybe somewhere close to maybe Florida, but then from there do another transatlantic crossing to maybe somewhere in the UK, maybe Portsmouth, But by the time they come back, but the vessel will not be going like that, to be on trade, carrying goods from point A to point B. By the time they come back, they can pass through the Suez Canal, go through Indian Ocean, come through South Africa, then cross through Angola. In between, be doing port calls. It's kind of exposure international trading, and by the time they come back, it might take them like 1 year plus, 2 years. By the time they return, and maybe somebody, by the time they return, they would have been okay. And the job is continuous. When they get employed, they continue getting the experience. But I don't think we should be the ones. We better pay for the services. Let them maintain their vessels. Or we shouldn't think of only one.